You're probably all wondering why the inside of the car looks like this. It's nothing to do with broken parts or anything like that, but the car is going to the scrapyard some point today, so I've basically taken all the parts out that I think are sellable and leaving the car as it is for scrap, basically. I've taken all the vents out, this fascia with the radio and the climate control, centre console, this panel here where it kind of wraps around the heater module or whatever you want to call that thing. The pipe that goes between the gear stick and the handbrake and sort of puts warm air into the footwell of the back passengers, and obviously the centre console. I don't know if I mentioned that. The panel underneath the driver's area, and this panel up here where the gauge cluster is, as well as this part, as it's kind of both connected. I've also gone to the effort of taking the back bench out, as I thought this was like I thought that all of this would be easy to take out, but I don't have the tools or the strength to take any of the bolts out to take this out. So I just took the back bench out. Hopefully someone will need it. Tried to take the door card off. As you can see, it didn't go very well. I've took all the screws out, like in this general area. Managed to take that off, but apart from that, it's just redundant. I've also taken the boot lid trim off, and I was going to try and take all of it off, but I broke one of these, like the clip behind it. I broke that, so it's basically no use to anyone. I took the parcel shelf out, the boot liner, the boot like carpet thing, and I'm taking this trim off, because that's like a useful thing that people might need. I also tried taking the wheel trims off and I ended up breaking a bit, so I've just sort of left it because they're cheap to buy and I can get a new set if I need some. But yeah, that's the car as of now. I mean, it does look like I have butchered it and ruined this car, but I can't afford to fix it, and I can't afford to keep it, and it's illegal to keep a car on the road with no MOT, so the best thing I can do is just scrap it, and whoever comes upon it to the scrapyard, or if it gets crushed, then you know, it is what it is really. I added this chrome exhaust tip a while back, but yeah, it's not so chrome now, and as you see, the tyres are pretty good on it. That's the thing with cars like this, is like, you think they're gonna pass because they're good on the outside, but as soon as you look underneath, it just all goes wrong, and then it just puts you off wanting to put money into something like that. Unless you are committed and you want to do that, then I'm fully on board with you there. You can see the arches are starting to rust. Well, probably been starting to rust for a few years now, but yeah, it's like cars like this, they're just cheap paint, and I tried to fix it back with the Curious by looking at it. It's black around the edge, but yeah, it's starting to bubble on the driver's fender there, but the rest of it is a pretty good car on the outside, of course. I think this must have been one of the last cars to have the number plate stamped onto the window, as there was a lot of car thefts back in the day. So, like, in terms of like parts and what have you, like doors or something like that, is what I've heard. So, in order to link that particular part with that car, you'd be able to notice it by the number plate stamp on the window. This particular Focus was registered on the 1st of January 2000, so I'm guessing it's one of the last ones to have the number plate stamp on the window, because once cars from 2001 came out, I think they just went by the number plate or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Got rusting on the lip of the boot there. After a few hours of waiting, the car's finally been picked up and going to the scrapyard. It served a good 10 months in my ownership, but it's come to the end of its road, and probably going to get made into Coke cans sometime in the future, something like that, or washing machines or whatever you want to call it that's made out of metal. But yeah, that's the last time I'll see the Focus. Got all the parts into a neat pile in the corner. They're on the Facebook Marketplace, so if you're interested in anything you see in this clip or on Facebook, just let me know. And also this radio is for sale too, if anyone's interested. Nighttime has reared its head, and now I'm just having a stroll with the dog. I have owned 3 old Fords in my lifetime so far. The first time I thought about getting another car was back in September of 2019, something like that, or maybe October, and I was thinking, oh well, it would be nice to have a go at something else. So I went for a Mark 6 Fiesta 2005 in ocean blue, and it was a good little buy. I only paid $350 for it, and about 3 months later I couldn't get that MOT'd because there was too much wrong with it, and the driver's brake caliper seized, and I paid to get that done. That was $250, and then I scrapped it after that because I couldn't get it through an MOT. Harvey, come on. See these little contraptions. Oh, it's really boggy. Pretty cool. Probably not the best idea to walk on that field, it's really boggy. Come 2 years later, I then decided to buy a Mark 5 Ford Fiesta 1.3 flight off my friend for £300, mainly because he wanted to get rid of it and I'd never owned one before, and I wanted to see what it's like to own and drive one. So I took the plunge and I bought it. I owned that for about 4 months, I think, 5 months. Say 4 months tops, I think I owned it for. And then I sold that April last year, or thereabouts. And then that's when I come to the realisation I've never tried a Focus before, I've never owned a Focus. Focuses seem to be really good cars. And I found one on Marketplace for £400, bearing in mind it only had one photo, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So I messaged the guy, I asked to go view it. It was over in Concert near Newcastle. I went for a drive over, had a look at it, was pretty happy about it. It really stunk of fag smoke, I'll admit. But it started first time, it was low mileage, 58,000 miles. It was the lowest mileage Focus I'd ever seen before. And then I became the new owner of a 1999 Ford Focus LX 1.6 petrol. Now since then, I had it in my mind where, because it's a low mileage Focus, it's in really good condition, the arches aren't rusty, the The interior's quite clean for its age and the mileage. I thought, right, I'm gonna try my best to keep hold of this because it'll be worth something in a few years. And then I drove it places, went to Manchester, went to Glasgow. Someone scraped the back end of it, as you may notice in previous clips. Luckily they did leave a note, and I was wanting to make a review video on it, but I just haven't had time, and I'm a bit unsure about filming in public, even though millions of people do it around the world. So anyways, yeah, apart from someone hitting it and me deciding to scrap it, it's a really good car. It's actually snowed a few weeks to a couple of months ago, and luckily it had traction control, and you could just dump the clutch, have your foot planted to the floor, and the traction control would take up the slack when you'd lose power on the ice. So I gotta admit, it is really good system on the Focus, even though it's just a basic luxury extras trim level. It was like you just driving normally. You just putting more power down from your right foot. It's absolutely brilliant car to drive in the snow. This is the result of what the Cricket had cut the vinyl into. It's my first sticker I've made, so I didn't know what to make, as I wanted something to stick onto the back of the car, so I just went with this. Managed to get the sticker on. It's a little bit wonky, I'll admit, but yeah, it's pretty basic, but I didn't know what else to put, and I kind of got the imagination from the American number plates, where they've got the county, well, not the county, the state of where the car is registered. So I just, yeah, thought it would be nice to add to the car the ambience of Cumbria. The vlog is now over.